Have you ever been talking to someone and noticed how the second a conversation gets awkward, they smile? Not just a polite smile, the kind that looks like a reflex, like their face can't help but turn on that grin the moment discomfort hits. What if I told you that smile isn't meaningless? That it hides deeper psychology? Today, we're unpacking the real reasons behind this automatic response, the why behind the smile that doesn't feel like a smile at all. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might make you rethink every forced grin you've ever seen, including your own. 1. It's a defense, not a comfort. Have you ever heard of the politeness smile? It's a survival tool, more than a social cue. Psychologists call this a self-soothing mechanism. When humans feel threatened, even subtly, the nervous system sends signals that something is off. One of the body's ways of coping is to smile. But why smile when we're uncomfortable? Because a smile, even a fake one, can lower stress. Studies show that the act of smiling releases tiny bursts of neuropeptides that help fight stress. So when someone smiles automatically in discomfort, their brain is literally trying to calm itself. It's not happiness. It's a built-in coping hack. And here's the twist. Most people don't even realize they're doing it consciously. It's almost like the brain hits auto defense mode. We don't laugh because we're happy. We smile because we're trying not to panic. That's the first layer of this human behavior. 2. It's a social shield. Let's zoom out. Human beings are wired for connection. We are social creatures, which means we're constantly reading signals, scanning faces, judging expressions, trying to figure out if someone is safe, friendly, dangerous, or judging us. And here's where it gets interesting. People who smile when uncomfortable are often trying to manage how they're perceived. Think about a time you felt awkward, maybe you didn't know what to say, or someone made a comment that hit too close to home. What was your first move? Many of us default to a smile, not because we're happy, but because we're trying to blend in. This is about impression management, a psychological process where people control the image they project to others. They're saying, silently, I'm okay, everything is fine, even when it isn't. Why? Because discomfort in social settings often signals vulnerability, and vulnerability feels unsafe. So the brain substitutes authenticity with a smile, a social mask that says, nothing to see here. This automatic smile becomes a shield, a way to reduce judgment from others, even if it sacrifices honest expression. 3. It's a learned behavior from childhood patterns. Now, here's a deeper layer. Not all smiles are created equal. Some people use smiles as emotional camouflage because they learned it early in life. If you grew up in an environment where expressing frustration was shut down, emotions were ignored, or conflict was dangerous, then you learned quickly, better to smile than say how I really feel. Attachment theory in psychology tells us that childhood patterns influence adult behavior in powerful ways. If your early caregivers rewarded compliance and punished discomfort, your nervous system may have adapted by masking negative emotions with a smile. This becomes a habit loop. Situation triggers stress. Stress triggers smile. Smile reduces perceived threat. Before long, it's almost unconscious. It's like your brain made a pact with itself. No matter how awkward it gets, smile. This is the psychology of learned emotional suppression. And it sticks. 4. It's a sign of high sensitivity. But not everyone who smiles when uncomfortable is hiding trauma or insecurity. Some people do it because they are highly sensitive, and here's why that matters. Highly sensitive people, about 15 to 20% of the population, process stimuli more deeply. They pick up on emotional undercurrents, microexpressions, tonal shifts, and unspoken tension. Their nervous systems are wired to feel more. When something feels uncomfortable, their nervous system reacts stronger. Internal tension spikes faster. Their fight or flight response ignites more easily. And the smile? It's a buffer, a way to soften their presence in a situation where they feel overloaded. Instead of reacting with anger, instead of going silent, instead of shutting down, they smile. It's a self-regulating strategy, not a weakness. It's like they're saying, I feel this deeply, but I don't want to burden anyone with it. This type of person often has high emotional intelligence, even if they hide it behind a smile. Because they feel more deeply than others, they use a smile to keep the emotional temperature down. 5. It's tied to unconscious mindset patterns like cognitive dissonance. Let's take a quick dive into something called cognitive dissonance, that uncomfortable psychological tension we feel when we hold two conflicting beliefs or desires. For example, you want to say something honest, but you fear the reaction. Your thoughts are saying one thing, Your social brain is saying another. This creates a conflict, and the brain hates conflict. The brain always seeks consistency. So what does it do? It deploys a smile. This smile acts like a psychological band-aid, a way for the brain to resolve the conflict without having to actually fix the underlying tension. So while the person might be thinking, I want to say how I feel, their mouth says, but I'll just smile instead. Psychologists believe this is a form of emotional avoidance, and it's incredibly common. We think of smiles as positive, but in psychology, not all smiles are expressions of joy. Some are conflict reducers, some are distraction mechanisms, and some are escape routes. 6. There's a difference between a real smile and a discomfort smile. If you've ever studied body language, you know there's something called a Duchenne smile, a genuine smile that involves the eyes and the mouth. But the discomfort smile? It usually only uses the mouth muscles. The eyes don't light up, the cheeks don't come up. It's more like a pressurized curve of the lips. In psychology, this is called a non-Duchenne smile, a smile that looks like a smile, but doesn't involve the emotional joy centers. Your brain learned this pattern because it worked at some point. Maybe it deflected tension, avoided confrontation, or soothed anxiety, so now it's on repeat, every single time. 7. It's a mirror of inner conflict, not outer calm. Here's the most important insight. When someone smiles because they're uncomfortable, it doesn't mean they're calm. It means they're handling internal tension in the most manageable way they know. Any psychologist will tell you, behavior is a signal, not always the truth. A smile in discomfort is a signal that says, I'm managing my nervous system. I'm trying to stay safe. I'm trying not to make it worse. And to the outside world, it can look like politeness, or indifference, or confidence. But inside, it's a tug of war between honesty and safety, between expression and protection, between vulnerability and control. 8. Why this matters for you and everyone around you. Here's the takeaway. When you see someone smile in discomfort, don't dismiss it. Don't assume they're fine. Because in many cases, that smile is a window into real emotion they can't or won't express. And when you find yourself smiling in awkward moments, pause. Ask yourself what you're really feeling. Because psychology tells us that the things we mask often matter the most. This automatic smile is not a flaw. It's a strategy. A survival strategy our brain developed to navigate the messy landscape of social interaction. And like all strategies, it has costs and benefits. It keeps the peace, but it can mute authenticity. It keeps social tension low, but it can bury emotional truth. And the people who use this smile most, they are often deeply empathetic, painfully aware, emotionally intelligent, conflict avoidant, people who care a lot, and who learn to protect themselves softly. So next time you notice someone smiling when things get uncomfortable, think of it as more than just a grin. Think of it as a nervous system trying to self-soothe, a social shield against judgment, a learned pattern from past experiences, a sign of deep emotional processing, and a subtle marker of inner conflict. That smile isn't just a face. It's a story, a coping mechanism, a silent language, a psychological signal of something deeper beneath the surface. And once you start noticing the why behind it, you'll start seeing people and yourself far more clearly. If this resonated with you, remember to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into human behavior that make you go, wait, that's so true. Because people aren't just complex, they're fascinating. And the way we cope, it's a beautiful mess worth understanding. We'll see you in the next video.